I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of uncomfortable and odd. I got headphones on for the first time ever, and this is like our sixth episode. Um, I don't do this, but if you stayed through the entire last episode, you might have peeped that the audio glitched all the way out. And I had an idea and I thought, oh snap, something was wrong with my recording device, right? My Rodecaster Pro 2 that I spent so much money on, right? The first episode's quality sounded like because the interface that I was using was garbage. So I got this puppy and the quality sounds fantastic. But at the very end of the episode, right after the video issues we had, they cut off right at the very end. And I don't know what happened. Even with the actual individual audio clip that I had, the separate from the recording, that was just wrong. So I had to go with raw footage, raw audio coming straight from my camera. So I'm a little off now. I got headphones on, and I'm like hearing myself twice, and it's not the best. These were for like me to stream and play games and like edit, not anything super professional. They were just what was recommended on YouTube. I'm yapping. I am yapping. Oh my god, this is so awkward. I feel like a little tinge of anxiety. I felt it last episode right before I started shooting. I feel it now. It was more last episode compared to this episode. I don't know where it came from. It's like I just got straight into it with the first few, and now it's hitting me. Like I'm just fresh and new to this. But this is uncomfortable, and I don't want to buy another pair of headphones. But yeah, welcome to the Intelligent Idiots podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Always on 10, and I'm a yapper. I truly hope you enjoyed today's episode. Today, we're going with another theme. I think every episode is going to have a theme. I don't know what's going on with my brain right now, but I probably need water. I probably need to hydrate. So if you're listening, go drink some water. No coffee, no tea, no pop, no juice. Water. Water. Preferably water that's been filtered, not in a plastic bottle. In a Stanley that's dented. Do that. Dented Stanley. Oh, snap. So today's theme is goofy parents, right? You may have a parent or parents that sometimes act goofy, wild, out of the box, or you may have seen your friends or your family members have goofy ass parents. So we're going to run through some stories today that the parents are extremely goofy. This is so uncomfortable. The headphones like pinching my glasses. Me no like. But I got to be able to hear if the audio goes bad. Hopefully I get used to it by the end of the episode. This long but short cord. I can see I'm not. I don't like that. I don't like it. Watch me get overstimulated. We're over in the r/relationship advice subreddit with a post by throwaway220989. You got all of the default usernames. My 29 male, prenup with my fiance, 28 female, pays her for having children. My parents, 65 male and 62 female, are telling me to call off the wedding. I'm having an issue right now where my parents, 65 male and 62 female, are blowing up my phone over the prenup my fiance, 28, and I, 29, are in the process of finalizing. She and I have been together for 5 years, living together for 3. She's the one. She's my best friend. I couldn't begin to imagine a life without her. I proposed last year. We've been squaring away the logistics of getting married before we start wedding planning, aiming for the fall. We've been working in parallel to finalize a prenup, and we're both feeling good about how it's turning out. My sister, 26, had recommended the lawyer I'm working with, and she asked me how it was going. I really regret this in hindsight, but I told her it was going well, that we can agree on the division of assets, family planning, and she cut me off when I mentioned that. She said, You can't dictate child support in your prenup. And I tried to clarify it, saying it wasn't for child support, but reorganizing asset division and financial payouts towards my fiance if we have kids. I'm seriously face palming, even typing this out, because I should have known not to share that with her. Long story short, she ended up telling my mom, and now both of my parents are blowing up my phone for insinuating or flat out stating that my fiance is taking advantage of me and that I have to call off the engagement. I told them I know what I'm doing and to keep their feedback to themselves, but we'll see if that takes. Hint, it won't. The point of my post is to ask, what are other couples who plan/anticipate having kids doing with their prenups, if you have one? In ours, as it stands right now, there's a provision that allocates a 6-figure payout per child to my fiance if we have biological children. To be clear, both of us are okay with not having biological kids or kids at all, if that's what we find most comfortable in our marriage. But because we're not solidly child-free and sterilized either, we feel it's prudent to have compensation for pregnancy and birth-related work incorporated into the prenup to cover our bases ahead of time. The way my sister, a mom of two herself, reacted and told my parents threw me off guard. So I wanted to check if this was unconventional or if my family was nuts. They are. They are threatening not to come to the wedding at all if this is finalized. That's tough. That's tough. You gotta have a prenup. You gotta have a prenup. Men and women, you make prenups. You make prenups mostly for the fact of the matter that you are signing legal documents to tie yourself, your family, your assets to another individual that may or may not last a lifetime. And based upon the laws in each individual state and the country, particularly in America, I'm assuming this is America, right? I'm gonna move like it's America. The individual who ends up with less in the relationship, who does more in the relationship with the children, will end up being awarded money from a judge that is dictated by the judge. If you have a document stating what is split asset-wise, asset division, you don't have to worry about somebody else taking your money and doling it out to somebody that you may not even like anymore, right? You're planning for the future. It's about the what ifs, right? This is a business decision. When you get married to an individual, you end up with, I want to say, just shy of 1,100 state and federal benefits. This is not simple shit you're doing. And when you have kids added to that, these are incredibly complex things that you are participating in this country, right? There are laws above you, right, that you cannot change, right, that dictate how your relationship will be, your assets will be, your the time that you spend with your children will be moving forward. All right. Let's read some comments. Remember, I'm single, no kids. I only know what I Google and what I've seen other people go through. The top comment with 2.4K upvotes by In Between Genders. This is so uncomfortable. Wearing these damn headphones. I'm sorry. So what does the lawyer you pay for have said about all of this? So what does the lawyer you paid for have said about all the grammar? The grammar. Ooh, OP replies, he's on board and says it's not so unconventional, but it has to be clearly unrelated to child support or custody, which it is. What's stressing me out is that my parents and sister are saying that the wedding needs to be called off and they won't attend if this ends up being finalized. I don't know how seriously to take them, but I should include that in my post. Honestly, I'm moving forward, right? If the lawyer that I hired, that my sister recommended me for one, they're saying that this is smooth and cool, then I'm going with it. I asked my sister for a lawyer for prenup purposes to draw up these documents, and I'm fine with it. I'm not delusional. I got bread. I'm doling out 6-figure payouts like it's nothing. If something bad happens, I got money. I got money. This is like the uneducated believing that they know, or broke versus rich. And I'm middle class, and then again, I'm not married, so here I am giving my takes. This is so odd. You want these legally binding contracts again, so you can't. If your partner goes insane and they are out on a vendetta to get you, you have protection, and not. It doesn't have to be. Oh, here I am as a woman, or here I am as a man. It's just the pure what ifs, right? It's just the simple what ifs. But particularly for him, it seemed as if he knows that he's going to be working. He knows he is going to be the number one breadwinner. He knows that his wife will most likely be doing the majority of the child rearing. He might be so high up, monetarily speaking, that he will fall into that small percentage of people who have to dole out alimony no matter what after a certain minimum number of years. I think here in Michigan, it's like 10, 8, 9. Right. So again, having this set up is it's just normal, right? If I'm gonna marry somebody, there's going to be provisions for children. There's going to be provisions for the assets that we have before we get together. Provisions for, oh shit, one of us cheats, right? Like, we're together and we got this set up. We split everything based upon how much money we put into everything, how much effort and time we put into the relationship. Because I would prefer my partner to keep working. But shit, maybe I blow up. Maybe this podcast takes me to the stars, right? And I'm just locked in the studio all day, every day. But I'm still still busting nuts my wife. So we pop some babies out, right? And I have the money necessary to provide a good wife for my kids. Good wife? Good life. Good life for my kids. Wearing these headphones is just so fucking weird. Excuse my outbursts. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm gonna see if I can connect my AirPods to these. That's what I'm gonna see about doing. Yeah, that'll be the move. What was I saying? Yeah. If my partner ends up taking care of the kids and not working because I'm working so much, they would be entitled to making money if, say, I just keep working so much, I start neglecting her and the kids to the highest degree, and she's like, "Oh, I can't be with you anymore." Right? You aren't meeting my emotional, physical, mental, spiritual needs. I gotta dip. Right? Wait, what was I saying? How am I forgetting as I'm talking? Yeah, she should get money out of me. But if she cheats, no. Just dip. Never cheat. Never cheat in any relationship, people. Just dip out, right? If you're checking out mentally and you speak with your friends, your family, your therapist, and they're like, "Ooh, why are you still with them?" Dip. Don't cheat. If they're beating you, don't cheat. Beat back. but most definitely dip. Oh my god, Ma, I know you're gonna watch this. Yes, yes, I am absolutely advocating for violence in a video game. In a video game, only in a video game. Let's read some more comments. Let's see some comments from what OP replies to, and then read OP's comments. From subject Hedgehog 6278, because I was just yapping. OP might want to do some research about dysfunctional family of origin patterns when one of the grown children begins their own new family. I think many people who come from dysfunctional families of origin experience a sense of, wow, I did not realize just how fucked up these people really are until now when they start their own. This could be just the start of their own. This could just be the start of their over controlling, narcissistic attempts to ruin life for him. Oh, Jesus. I really doubt these people are going to be able to do things like watch him and his wife raise their kids without having lots of horrific commentary about how they're ruining their kids from these jerks. Oh, geez. So, dysfunctional family of origin patterns. I want to look that up. I'm so curious about this. And we're going to type into Google at the end of that -u to remove the AI pop up because fuck AI. I like my water. Let's read OP's comments first. Honestly, this whole thing was eye opening. My mom, especially, has never been the super talkative type. Honestly, little to no curiosity into my relationship these past 5 years. Before that, a Christmas card and a phone call here and there. Never have I had blocks and blocks of texts and 15 phone calls back to back. The reaction is so strong, I'm genuinely shocked and frozen. I'm going to not going to take any of their opinions into action. Just flabbergasted, and have to do some searching about why the family is operating this way now. That's tough. Oh, next text replies to OP. If they would call your savings our money and refer to your fiance as her, then you know. Yeah, cuz might be super rich compared to the rest of his family. He might have lucked up. He might have done well. And how old is he? 29. He's done well in such a short period of time. They might want his bread. Me no like that. Oof. Let's hit Google real quick. If one's family of origin was dysfunctional, faced issues such as abuse, substance abuse, poor health, or poverty, did not provide children with real world skills, or did not adequately demonstrate love, that person may experience difficulties in these areas later in life, especially if they start a family of their own. That is the definition from goodtherapy.org for dysfunctional family of origin patterns. Okay. That's kind of simple. Yeah. Trauma, abuse, neglect, or abandonment, unresolved family conflicts. Ooh, attachment issues, family substance abuse or mental health issues, parental expectations and pressures, cultural or religious conflicts, grief and loss. That's coming from the Center for Mindful Psychotherapy, mindfulcenter.org. You gotta love it.org. Okay, this tracks. Everybody's kind of got a dysfunctional family in one way or another. Right? I shouldn't make it seem so simple, but yeah, people aren't perfect. People are kind of wilding. I'm glad my parents don't move like this. But me, I'm mushing faces. I'm mushing faces. If I'm coming up with this idea and I think this is best for myself and my future, my potential future children, and my lawyer is siding with me and thinking that I'm making the right moves, why am I listening to anybody else? Somebody else a lawyer? Is anybody else dealing with prenups that they've had before? Let me see what your prenup looks like. Let me see the lawyers that you have. Right? Let me talk to them since you're thinking I'm making the wrong moves. Where are the professionals at here? Ooh. Let me see. Subject Hedgehog spins back. Oh, yeah, they spun back. All my best luck to you. I definitely had this experience with my family of origin, and it cost me my happiness for many years until I finally just estranged from them. It ended up costing me my marriage. Ooh. So I just thought I'd warn you. I didn't create enough psychological safety for my ex-husband early enough after we married because I was still hoping to resolve stuff with my family. If your wife knows how they are behaving over this, and she's probably pretty upset, but it'll be nothing compared to if they condemn her for mothering choices after she has kids. If they do that, walk away from them forever so that your wife can feel safe and protected from harm. I wish I walked away from my family many years earlier than I did. And all the due diligence I put in asking them to be nicer was for a squat in the end. It sucks when it's your family, but people who can't be kind rarely have any interest in learning how to change that. I'm reading like a kid. Excuse me for this. Editor, my mother also pulled some controlling shit over my wedding, and I wish, with all my heart, I told her to not come and enjoy my wedding. If your family won't come to yours unless you acquiesce to their demands, fine. They need to learn that lesson at some point anyway. So you might as well teach them you won't accept controlling behavior over your family from the jump if they can't act right. Ooh. Throwaway Gen X 1973 replies, what exactly is their issue? I don't understand why they feel so strongly about this. And OP's back. They don't even know what the actual details to be this upset. It makes me think my sister told them / has been telling them things about me in the background. She and I keep in touch. Parents and I aren't that close. How they know so much can only be coming from her. Makes me wonder what exactly she's saying. Ooh, she might be feeding the lie. I think everybody's after his bread. I'm not going to lie. Everyone might be actually after his bread. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. We got some more comments that I want to read specifically that I found. Oh, here it is. By Fat Scott, without a U. There's no U in Scott. One of the things about growing up is that you have to learn how and when to tell your parents that certain things are none of their business. This is one of those times. And I got 2K upvotes plus an award. Ooh. And Blue Vol replies to that. Exactly. Of the lawyers for both of you and your fiance think this is okay. And the two of you agree. Tell your parents and your nosy sister you dropped that from the agreement and then never show it to them. I would hate to give it all because they think they have a say in such things, but make sure to limit what they know from now on. I'm so curious why OP doesn't have a relationship with his parents like that. I talk to my parents every day. It's a phone call a day. I'm so curious. We're only doing a handful of text messages here and there. Helly J19 comments, I'm a divorce attorney. Your wife to be and yourself maturely deciding to do this and contracting for it in advance of your marriage tells me two things. One, you have immense respect for her and the future mother of your children and her sacrifices to give life. And two, The odds that you will need this prenup are slim to none because of the respect and maturity you have for one another. Silence your family or tell them to not bother coming if they're so perturbed. The most valuable thing you've already learned is to not share marital issues or conversations with family. Your attorneys have yours and your fiance's best interests in mind, wishing you the best of luck on your marriage. Putting her first in spite of your family's displeasures starts now. I'm vibing with that. We got some very special comments. I went scrolling and found. So let's go ahead and read through these, bang these out real quick so we can get to the special comments. Calliope Cleo comments, sounds fair at least. Having kids will have a big impact on her future earnings, as well as in the period of pregnancy and maternity leave. So 6 figures seems a reasonable ballpark, plus child support. OP replies, yeah, child support has to be separate. This would be asset allocation to her specifically, not to any potential children. Yes, that is what that is. Chrono Venter comments, that's basically what alimony was. When women weren't working and were all homemakers, the idea of alimony was that she supported her husband's career by taking care of everything at home. His job was their job. And NW Siren replies with a special comment. Only about 10% of divorce cases in the United States of America result in alimony, and 3% of those are to male recipients. They link a Reuters, which I may be pronouncing incorrectly, article. Even in the 1960s, only about 25% of cases awarded alimony. So it's not like it's a given in any financial situation. And in the event that they never get divorced, then traditionally that spouse would never see a payout and still take on the burden. Yes. Ooh. Before we go over to the Reuters article, Educational Lynn 159 comments, that's the myth about the greatest generation. They also had the highest rates of abortion. Fun fact. Lots of Dear John letters. Let's come over here. So we got this Reuters article, which I definitely feel like I'm pronouncing incorrectly. How breadwinning women are driving alimony reform. With this being posted November 17th on 2015, updated November 18th in 2015. So it's been 11 years almost. When alimony reform comes to Florida, it may be too late for Terry McMillan, a 65-year-old who runs a jewelry business near Tampa. McMillan was ordered to pay her ex-husband $7,000 a month 15 years ago. Ooh! Even so, she has joined the crusade to lobby state legislatures to change the legal obligation to provide financial support to a spouse before or after marital separation or divorce. Some states have already put curbs on judgments, particularly for marriages of less than 20 years, but most, like Florida, are still in the progress or are constantly evolving. Quote, I thought I was my own island of misery, that I had to go through this, but once I got involved, I was very impressed. There was a light at the end of the tunnel, unquote, she said. Alimony, otherwise known as spousal support or maintenance, is an ongoing payment by the higher earning spouse to the lower earning one. It has changed and shifted over the 40 years since the Supreme Court ruled that it had to be applied equally to both genders, yet it is still heavily weighed towards men paying women. Only 3% of around 400,000 alimony recipients are male, according to the 2010 census, up 0.5% since 2000. Recipients claimed 9.2 million payments in 2013 on their tax returns. Unlike child support, which is common when divorcing couples have kids, alimony awards have always been very rare. going from around 25% of cases in the 1960s to about 10% today, said Judith McMullen, McMullen, a professor of law at Marquette University. In one study of Wisconsin cases, she found it was only 8.6%. Now that women are paying alimony more often, they are getting involved in advocating for change. It's unfair for men to pay it and unfair for women to pay it, but women are much more outraged by it, said Ken Newman, a founder of the Academy of Professional Family Mediators. A check until you die. Tanya Williams, who has been sending a check to her ex-husband for 13 years, is among those who do not understand the concept of permanent alimony, when one spouse pays the other indefinitely, and has joined the cause against it. There is no other contract where the liability continues after the contract ends, said the 52-year-old dentist who got divorced in Florida but now lives in North Carolina. You can't leave your job and say, I still have a need, so you have to continue to pay me. To address this, states like Massachusetts, Texas, and Kansas restrict most cases for helping lower earning spouses get back on their feet or get further education. The general consensus is that everyone should work, and the only individuals likely to get a longer term award are those who are disabled or are in retirement. We're not in a post-gender society, said Mary Kay Kizthart. I'm butchering your name. My bad. A professor of law at the University of Missouri, Kansas City School of Law. University of Missouri, Kansas City School of Law. That read weird as fuck to me. But she said the usual argument against alimony is that everyone could be earning, so there is not a need for it. In New York, for instance, new rules go into effect in January 2016, which further limit alimony based on the duration of the marriage. The rule also restricts the way you can project the future earnings of professionals like doctors, said Caroline Nouse Brown, a partner at Blank Rome in New York. Blank Rome? Okay. Negotiate it out. Alimony often gets negotiated out before it gets to the courts, as 90 to 95% of cases settle. There is less legal support for it, less social support for it, and it's not a big bargaining chip, said McMullen, who envisions alimony getting more and more rare and awarded only in cases of a true disability. For the 400,000 already in the system, there are always opportunities to petition for modification or to try to renegotiate, but the chances are slim. You have to wait for them to die, essentially, said Newman. Oof. And the update was just simply in the 15 paragraph correcting the spelling of Caroline Noss Brown. Okay. I am so curious how many alimony recipients there are now. Let's see if I can spell while trying to look over my microphone. Yes, I look at my keys as I type. Minus U to eliminate the AI results. 2017 says 400,000 still. 2014, 2015, 2020. 2020. From Anthony M. Zazima, PC. This is a .com. They're still referring to the 2010. I'm sorry, 2010? The 2010 census. Information here. So this does not have no information. Yeah. Oh, we don't have updated information because we don't have a new census. Let me see. Real world divorce. Let me see. .com. They had a number, and I lost it just that quick. They're saying over 500,000 people claimed alimony in their taxes. That is interesting. So I'm thinking about the complexities of all this and how alimony exists just simply for the fact of the matter that women couldn't have jobs out of what was dictated. Yeah, couldn't have jobs, couldn't have bank accounts, couldn't own property, right? Shit had to be in a man's name, had to be in your brother, your father's name, your husband's name. Ugh. You essentially don't own anything. It's insanity. Up until voting rights in the 20s, the 60s, and the 70s, 1974 is when women could not be discriminated against legally by banks in any which way. But shit, they still definitely do now. Yeah, that particular law benefited women and minorities, that banks couldn't discriminate against them. But you slide forward 20 years, then once you have computers, right, they're discriminating based upon other factors, which simply just slides all the way back to who we don't like, which is just brown people and women. Ugh. Where are these? Let's take a look real quick. Let's take a look. I pulled up some stats from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics and the U.S. Department of Labor. And I just wanted to read over this. So I'm taking a look at civilian labor force participation by sex annually from 1948 to the present. So if we look post World War II, when women had to fucking go work because millions of us were going to fight Nazis instead of being them like today. 1948, 32.7% of women were participating in the workforce compared to today, 57.3%. And for whatever reason, you have a drop off from 86.6% for men down to 67.8%. And I feel a little dumb, like I don't know how to read statistics when I see this, because it just makes me feel a little insane, right? Is this just ever so simply a balancing of the numbers? No, because how does 68 plus 57.3 equal 100? Or are we simply saying that the majority of men have not always really worked? And when I say majority, I mean super. 100% of men always have 100% worked. You're telling me in fucking 48, 86.6% of all men worked? So 13.4% of the population of men did not work. And here we are today, only 67. Oh, this is 2025. I'm sorry. 67.8% are working. Are we truly having a 32.2% unemployment rate for men? I know things are fucking terrible right now, but is it really this bad? The rapid rise in women's labor force participation was a major development in the labor market during the second half of the 20th century. Overall, women's labor force participation increased dramatically from the 1960s through the 1980s and slowed in the 1990s before peaking at 60% in 1999. Labor force participation among women then began to decline, which accelerated in the wake of the December 2007 through June 2009 recession, before leveling off around 2014. Participation for both men and women declined dramatically during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 and began to rebound from pandemic-era lows in 2022. Labor force participation among men has generally trended down since its 1948 peak of 86.6%. So this data started getting collected back then, and I am so curious what this... Oh shit. Okay, hold on. So here we go. The current population survey, CPS, not that CPS, but the other CPS, is a monthly survey of households that provide a wide range of information about employment, unemployment, hours of work, earnings, and people not in the labor force by demographic characteristics. Most of our reports and tables contain data for women. And of course, you can access the data for women using the on-screen data search from the tables below. But clicking on the not in labor force, because when I was reading this earlier, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Not in the labor force. Persons who are neither employed nor unemployed are not in the labor force. This category includes retired persons, students, those taking care of children or other family members, and others who are neither working nor seeking work. Information is collected on their desire for availability for work, job search activity in the prior year, and reasons for not currently searching. This is interesting. This is interesting. Yes. So the percentage of people who aren't working is just ever so simply. You're taking care of children, disabled people, you're retired, you're a student. Okay, we can get deeper in this, but I don't care like that. And I don't care like that. We're going to slide over to the U.S. Department of Labor blog. The blog. Let me shut up. We're reading from Working Women, data from the past, present, and future. For Women's History Month, because this is back in 2023, March. Shout out to women. It is the end of Women's History Month. I was unaware. Because we're at war. Of course I was unaware. No, that's not a good excuse. We're highlighting data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics on working women in the labor force from the past, present, and future. I am too blind. I am super blind. And this is just given the same exact stats from previously. But I just wanted to read off the top 15 occupations by share of women in 2021 and projected for 2031, which I probably won't read those numbers, but I will read what was happening in 2021 because who knows what's going to happen in 2031 because we're at war. Who knows? So the top occupation, good Lord, preschool and kindergarten teachers, 96.8% men, 96.8% of women work at these jobs. There's 607,000. Almost 608,000 of these back in 2021 and were required a bachelor's degree. Speech language pathologists, 95% of women were those, and that was 160,000, which required a master's degree. Dental hygienists, 95% were women, and 214,000. And this is employment for both sexes, so you just do 95% of 214,000, and that required an associate's degree. Yeah. Oh snap! I am so sorry. And that paid 77,000. Speech pathologists get paid 79,000. Preschool and kindergarten teachers get paid $36,000 a year to take care of your bratty ass kids. $36,000 a year to take care of your bratty ass kids. 36,000. This is in 2021. I'm sure they're barely getting paid a band more. Let's go ahead and round up. 37 grand to take care of your bratty. That's poverty. That's fucking poverty. And they had to go to school and get a bachelor's degree. There are 608,000 at a minimum, because these are 2021 numbers, right? The projection for the employment for 2031 is 686,100 for both sexes, right? Come fucking Christ. Come 2031, right? The median annual wage is $36,710 in 2021. I'm rounding. What are we working at private schools? More making 48,000, right? We're on the high end making 50 bands, taking care of 45 bad children in kindergarten and preschool. We're trying to teach them their ABCs, and really we're just hoping they don't shit on themselves. $36,000, and you went to school, you went to college for 4 years to do this. 96.8% of these people are women working these jobs. Yeah, I wouldn't want to participate in the labor force either. I'm not going to lie to you. The licensed practical and licensed vocational nurses, 91% of 657,000 of them are women, making 48 bands a year, and it requires a post-secondary non-degree award. School psychologists make up 90% of those jobs. Women make up 90% of those jobs, 57,900 of them. I'm sorry, $36,710 to be a goddamn teacher. But school psychologists are making $78,780 with a master's degree. We're going to school for another 2 years, maybe three. Veterinary technologists and technicians are bringing in $36,000 as well with an associate's degree. 89.8% of them are women. There are 122,000 out there. Dietitians and nutritionists, 89% are women. They're bringing home $61,000 off a bachelor's degree. Medical record specialists, 88.8% are women. They're bringing home $46,000 with a post-secondary non-degree award. What does that mean? Post-secondary non-degree award. We're going to school. Oh, it's a trade, essentially. Okay. My brain had to click that in. Nurse practitioners, 87% of them are women. They're bringing home $120,000 with a master's degree. You got to have a master's degree to bring home 120 bands. Bands that make her dance, right? There's 246,000 of them out here in the fields working. That sounds wrong. Child, family, and school social workers, 86.8% of them are women. I feel like there needs to be a bunch of men out there working too, because if CPS needs to be called, I want a grown-ass man kicking in the door and punching somebody in the face who is abusing their children. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. You're abusing your kids. I want the biggest, burliest, 17-foot tall motherfucker to kick in your door and stomp a hole in you. Whew. I'm sorry. It requires a bachelor's degree. Registered nurses, 86.7% of them are women of the 3.13 million that there were in 2021, bringing home 77,000 with a bachelor's degree. This number will probably hit around here. Maybe it will be more. They'll reach 3.3 million people come 2031. I'm sure those numbers will go up. Diagnostic medical sonographers. I don't know what that is because I'm not one. I'm a photographer. I'm a videographer. I'm a cinematographer. Obviously, I'm not that because I can't say the word. I'm not if I can't say it, I'm not a human. A human. I must be a cat. Human. Let me get my life together. Diagnostic medical sonographers, 85.5% of them are women, bringing home 77,000. Did I just say this? Oh, no. RNs are also bringing home 77,000. Off an associate's degree, all you need is an associate's degree to bring home 77,000. Median. This is median annual wage. I'm an animal. Median. So you can bring home less, or you can bring home more. It all depends on where you live and where you're working, right? These hospitals are businesses. There is no standard across the board where you're getting paid the same. There's no standard. These hospitals are businesses. You may get paid more, you may get paid less. I want you to grasp this. Median annual income, right? And some of these people who work in the medical field, they're working overtime. You're not doing 40 hours a week, some of these people. A fuck ton of these people are working overtime. A fuck ton. So they're scaling this median up even more, right? Medians and averages, to go back to school. Go back to school if you know what they are, right? Go for your master's degree. If you go for your master's degree, you can be an occupational therapist. 84.9% of them are women, and they're bringing home $85,000. Or you could go be a paralegal, 84% of them are also women, and they're bringing home 56,000 off an associate's degree. Right? You need your master's to be a therapist, an occupational therapist. Get your master's degree. Interior designers, 83.8% of them are women. They're bringing home 60 bands, but you gotta have a bachelor's degree. A degree. Why did I open this up? I don't know. Right? If you didn't want to listen to me, you can just fast forward. Oh, wait, it's too late for me to even say this. If you didn't want to listen to me and you did fast forward, hopefully I put the graphic up on there. Hopefully I just put the graphic up on there so you could just look at it and read it yourself instead of listening to me yap. Let's go back to the comments for this post that I was reading that you probably forgot about, and you're like, what the fuck is he talking about? Because I forgot. So from Queen of Sandcastles, we got a comment, special comment. It's going to take us right back to another page so we forget again what we're talking about. It's also the most dangerous thing a woman will do, because when a woman is pregnant is when they're most likely to be killed by their male spouse. Isn't that a fun fact? And we got a link that they dropped, which takes us over to Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. And we know they're spitting when we're over on Harvard's website. We got a news post by them, homicide leading cause of death for pregnant women in the U.S. This was posted by a staff writer in October 21st of 2022. Women in the United States who are pregnant or have recently given birth are more likely to be murdered than die for obstetric causes. And these homicides are linked to a deadly mix of intimate partner violence and firearms, according to researchers from Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. Homicide deaths among pregnant women are more prevalent than deaths from hypertensive disorders, hemorrhage, or sepsis, wrote Rebecca Lawn, postdoctoral research fellow, and Kirsten Conan, professor of psychiatric epidemiology, in a October 19th editorial in the British Medical Journal, BMJ. The U.S. has a higher prevalence of intimate partner violence than comparable countries. Such violence is often fatal, and it frequently involves guns, Law and Conan noted. They cited one study that found from 2009 through 2019, 68% of pregnancy-related homicides involve firearms. That study also found that Black women face substantially higher risks of being killed than white or Hispanic women. Laws restricting women's access to reproductive care and abortion can place women at further risk. Since control over a woman's reproductive choices often plays a role in intimate partner violence, Long said in a October 20th U.S. News and World Report article. Lenient firearm legislation can also increase the risk. Conan and Long called gun violence a health emergency for pregnant women, but they added that pregnancy-related homicides are preventable. When pregnant women have checkups, healthcare providers can identify those at risk of violence and try to help them. And that's what Long told CNN. This was a super short article, but this is necessary. Pieces of information that needs to be read. Mariana Mandarina, because there's 4 A's. Also dropped a comment. There is a very interesting video that stuck with me from a few years ago that explains how having a child disproportionately affects a woman financially compared to a man for years to come. Before watching it, this was something I inherently understood but couldn't put into words, and is backed up by statistics. They dropped the link. OP has such an inherent respect for this wife and challenges a woman and the challenges a woman goes through when having a child, and I respect it so much. I think more couples should actually be doing this and adding it to their prenup. We are going to read, no, Nope, that's too long. We are absolutely going to watch this 20-minute long video when it's 8:52 p.m. Instead of linking it, I'm gonna do a reaction. Yeah. Wait. This is by Vox. Vox, will you let me react to this? Let's see. Let's see if they'll let me react to this. Let's go ahead and yeah, we're just gonna turn my speakers on because I got my headphones that I normally have connected to the computer via Bluetooth, hooked up via cord to my audio interface. It's crazy work. Let's see this. I probably look like an insane person right now. I would love for my speakers to turn on. Are they broken? Are they broken? Heyo. I fixed it. Yeah. It's a YouTube original too.
Yeah. Okay, we're ready. How did you decide whether or not you wanted to have kids?
It just started like a natural flower blooming in my mind that, okay, maybe children.
I grew up thinking I would become a mom because I didn't know that I could choose not to be.
I grew up wanting to have 6 kids and all of them having superpowers, and being like the Power Rangers. Because I grew up like an only child. My sister has over a decade on me, so she was out of the house by the time I was in school. And my memory started forming years really after that was like consistent. So my earliest memory of her is her babysitting me in her apartment when I was a little baby. Little baby. I don't know. I was probably like 6 or 7 or 8. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm trying to think about it. I don't know. All right, let's keep going.
I'm so glad I don't have children.
I knew I was always going to have kids.
I decided to start thinking seriously about getting pregnant myself.
I've literally had people upset at the fact that I don't want to have children, but I'm like, how does that affect your life?
Especially like factoring in everything that's happening in the background, including climate change. Is this the kind of world that I want to bring my child into?
Fuck no.
This is what we wanted. This was our goal, and we're here.
Whatever change you think your life is going to have in a significant way, multiply it by like 99. Life blown up, completely gone.
If you are on TikTok, look up the woman with the list, so you know. You won't know, but you'll have a very large idea of how your life will change physically, mentally, from having a child.
The vast majority of Americans have kids, but the number of births in the U.S. has been slowly creeping downward over the past few decades.
You're damn right.
I think I want to become a parent, and I'm lucky to be able to make that decision. To be honest, though, I still feel like there's so much that I don't know.
If I don't end up with a partner who is also working and I continue making the same amount of money I do, we're not popping any kids out. I will cut my balls off.
So my question is, how do I decide if I really want to have kids?
And this is like such a great question. Why? Think about it. Think about it for yourself. Were you socialized by your parents and your family and all the media that you consume growing up from 0 to 18, 20, 25, 30, however old you are, and you still don't have kids, but you think that you want to have kids? Is this the reason why you believe that you want to have kids? Have you thought about it? Have you truly thought about why you want to have kids? Why? And what would it be like for you to be a parent? Why do you want to bring a child into the situation that you're currently living in, right? You may be poor. You may be mentally unwell. You may be rich. You may live in a country that's not America, because hopefully people in different countries are watching this, especially as I start to run some ads, because I want to see some people watch this and give their takes on my terrible takes. As they watch me battle ADHD and forget exactly what I was just talking about. Huh. I swear to God, if that little song gets this video demonetized and this video isn't monetized because I'm not monetized yet, I'm going to be pissed. 2020. Editor me. Cut. I'm about to speed this up by 1.4 times the speed. Yes. Was 1.5 make it easier? We're a minute and 36 seconds in. No, 1.4 times so my brain can keep up. Yes.
You know, it's really hard to separate out my desire to have kids versus the expectation to have kids. And if you don't believe that there's still an expectation of having children, just turn on the television. So when a kid's coming, I gotta have a baby. You gotta have one now.
People like pregnant.
You want your mother to regret it not having children. There is a stigma if you don't have kids and you're clearly not as happy. A lot of us have real questions about when and how and whether to become parents. So I'm gonna get some data. And why not start with that big assumption that kids make you happier?
Since about the 1960s, we've had pretty clear evidence that being a parent doesn't make you happier than not having children. Out of the 20 countries that we studied, the United States had the largest gap where parents report that they're significantly less happy than non-parents.
How do you ask survey questions that get at this?
Damn.
We're not asking people, are you happy you had kids? We're asking people, are you happy? And just asking them to rate their own level of happiness.
It's not just the United States. We see the happiness gap in all of these countries too.
It's really a parental happiness deficit.
Huh. Non-parents happier than parents. That is interesting.
It doesn't occur everywhere. There are a few nation states where parenthood actually improves your average rate of happiness, and some of those countries.
Russia, France, Finland, Sweden, Norway, Spain, Hungary, Portugal. Why is Portugal so high? Versus it's almost equal for Belgium. But even then, this point percentage is nothing. I think anything over 2. So Spain, Hungary, and Portugal, 3.1, 4.6, and 7.7. Versus the Netherlands, Denmark, Australia, Poland, Switzerland, New Zealand, the UK, Greece, Ireland, and the United States, 2.2 all the way to 12.7. Fuck is going on in Ireland. Ignore me.
These have extremely low fertility rates. That's telling you that people who do decide to have children are unusually attached to kids and want kids very badly. Now, we do have some LGBT couples in the data, but they differ in size across all of these nations, and some nation states did not even ask about the gender of the partners. We're just beginning to understand the dynamics and whether they're similar or different from heterosexual couples.
Does the happiness gap differ depending on wealth, race, gender, or other demographics within the United States?
It really doesn't. We thought perhaps
Really?
that the gap would be larger for single parents, and it is. We thought perhaps the gap would be larger for mothers than fathers, and it isn't. It grows when you take away the partnership and the stable employment. But once you control for those factors, it's fairly stable across race.
How do parents react though when you tell them about this data?
Oh, they hate it. Some of them don't believe it. I have to show them the data from one survey after another. But if we...
Nope, that just about tracks. If you're a single parent, it sucks being a single parent because you have to work. You have to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week to take care of yourself and the baby. Because you might have 2 or more. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. Crack your partner over the head if they left or are trying to leave and you have children. Fix them at therapy. Matter of fact, no, if you're in a relationship and you have moved in together, your next step is not proposing or being proposed to. Your next step is a monthly therapy session with a good therapist. And you should already personally be going to therapy, right? Monthly, bi-weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, weekly, which I mean every other week. Every other week, bi-monthly? You should definitely have a personal therapist because, as we've seen, there are ones who get paid very well and they went to school for many years, and there are quite a few of them. So in your own potential area, if you can afford it, if you can afford this, right, this is the number one thing. If you can afford this, if you have health insurance that makes your copay cheap, right? If you get a certain number of free sessions, right? Look it up from your insurance standpoint, right? In your area, right? You have a 20-mile radius, 10-mile radius, depending on how far you can walk, bike, or drive, depending on what's your form and mode of transportation. Find the one with the best reviews, man or woman, specifically whoever you want, with a particular degree and a focus in what they do, and pick them out personally, right? Really do your research on these people and then go. Don't just drive past the therapist's office one day, look them up on Google, and then call. No, don't weird shit like that. No.
As parents, have your children made you happy? They would all say yes.
And then again, once you're living with your partner, before you take that next step, you do therapy. You do couples counseling, right? So any issues that you may have, you can work through, and you can be heard out by a unbiased party, and that can definitely potentially help you move forward and not end up in a situation where you have multiple children and you are single. I am single with no children, and everybody that I'm swiping left and right on has kids, and I'm swiping right on them because they don't have kids. I'm swiping left because they got kids. Me no want to play stepdaddy. It's slim pickings out here because people do not want to be a step parent because it comes with so much, and you are locked into your parenting style. You are bringing in a whole nother fully formed child, human being, or 2 or 3, and you are bringing along another family that they may not want to participate in, which would be your ex-partner's family. It's just so much. It's so much. So before you have to crack your ex over the head to try to drag them back home like a damn Flintstones episode, do therapy. Before you even get close to popping the kid out, before you're like, let me slide in raw. Let me stop taking this birth control. Therapist, counseling. These damn headphones.
I would say yes. Everybody I know would say yes. But what their children have brought into their lives in many ways is anxiety, stress, and financial trouble that they would not have experienced. Did you know about the happiness gap?
I did. What's your take on how seriously we should take this data? I might be a little biased because I've always been quite ambivalent about the idea of having children, but I think it's worth taking very seriously. There is a huge cultural myth that kids are going to bring nothing but joy to your life, and I think that leads a lot of parents going in with maybe the wrong expectation. I gotta say, I look at this data and I think to myself, yikes. And then I think I probably still want kids. Like, it's such a weird... Why? I don't know. If you think about it, our species has been around for 300,000 years. The ability to control female reproduction is about 60 years old. Cultural and economic liberation for women is still in progress. We are among the first generations of life on Earth, which is the only life that we know of in the universe, that can choose not to reproduce. To me, that's incredibly exciting. But the act of making that decision final, I still wish I had more time. That's another part of this that I feel really anxious about. Our biology does not keep up with our social progress. And that makes me so angry. Can I tell you, like, the cosmic injustice of this? That, like, just as you're starting to feel comfortable in your own skin, maybe you've started to build something, that's when you're slapped with this decision that, hey, you need to turn your life upside down right now, or you can't have a family.
I'm 31. 31, big single, sad and lonely, right? Trying to pick and choose a partner as I stay trapped in the house and I make podcast episodes for you. I'm piggybacking off her point. Not only is life so difficult and we have these choices that we can make and we have this power that we can choose to utilize to not have kids via birth control. The fact of the matter is both men and women have a biological clock, right? Women start to have the inability to reproduce at the best levels a year ago for me, and it is the same for men. There is, I believe, a Harvard study that was done looking at 5-year time spans from 25 to 30 or 35 to 40 for specifically men who get involved with partners controlling for age, and the miscarriages involved, right? And the disabilities that come from birthing children when you're older. The older you get as a man, the more likely you are to impregnate your partner, and that fetus committing, probably because you don't know this term, cellular suicide. Damn, am I just going to get demonetized before I even get monetized? YouTube saved my life. And the fact of the matter is, the cellular data that will mix from your sperm with the egg will potentially not be good. And the fetus will recognize this and say, I'm out, and dip. And your partner will have a miscarriage, right? Most of the time, it'll happen without you even knowing, right? Generally, cell suicide takes place within the first few days of the cells dividing. So you won't even know, right? Your partner may have a feeling of knowing. The cell may have penetrated the uterus after like a week, and then that cellular slide. Right, I'm gonna say it wrong on purpose because I'm saying it so much, may take place. So they may have felt the implantation, but they're like, maybe, and then they have a harsh period. It is so difficult too, because when you think about it, everyone is having so many health issues. You may pass on your lineage, and you may have heart disease, diabetes, cancer may run in your family, but here you are, 35, 40, trying to get a woman pregnant, or 35, 40, trying to get pregnant yourself. And now you're dealing with the issues of your body not being up to the task, your health not being good. And then just, again, those cells being so old, they're not up to the task anymore. They are just simply not moving and grooving like they would have when you were 20, 25, 2026, 27, 28, 29. When you click over to 30, you click over to 35, you click over to 40, you're risking it. Not only are you risking it, as a woman, you're risking your life too, right? Especially in some of these southern states. If you're listening to this and you from the South, you risking it. You seeing those laws they're trying to pass? They're not only they're trying to track your pregnancy. If you have a miscarriage, they want you to put it in a bag and bring it to the hospital, or they're going to find you tens of thousands of dollars and lock your ass up if you don't do the proper procedure. When you just had such a horrible miscarriage that it was large enough for it to physically go into a bag. They want you to physically bring that puppy. Jesus. They want you to physically bring your child's undeveloped carcass, oh my God, to the hospital the same day in a bag that they specifically made you buy and pay for. Matter of fact, I think this might be Ohio. This ain't even south for real. It's south of me. And not that fucking far. Oh, let's go back to this.
I mean, in the biological sense. Maybe people with kids are this like crazy club of like unhappy people that want you to join them, but that sort of just discounts all the other parts.
I don't think it captures just like the fulfillment that you receive. I mean, I just love every moment. Like, she opens up her hands to hold her bottle. Like,
Having a child, beautiful thing, beautiful feat. But I feel like there's just so much stress surrounding it, especially in this country. And I think that's the main issue. Just like, I like the way things are right now, but where things are now, I need to make a hard decision.
I am a single mother of 4 daughters. There isn't anyone else coming to share that load with you. But these are the girls. These are my girls where if they saw me tear up, they would go fix up a sandwich and they'd be like, hey, do you want to eat something?
I was raised
4 kids. I said I wanted 6 kids. You have to bring home, on average, to be at the poverty line, $140,000 a year for a family of 4. And when I say a family of 4, I don't mean her 4 daughters, right? I've subtracted 2 kids and 2 parents, a household, a family of 4. You need $140,000 to be at the poverty line. To be above it, you need a couple thousand more, but you're poor. You're poor, right? So she's taking care of 4 kids, and she's got her husband, right? From 0 to 18 to have a mediocre childhood, you need $1 million. I'm sorry, is it 2 now? I think it's $1 million, and those numbers are outdated. I think it's $1 million spent over 18-year span. So you got 4 kids, you need to be bringing home $200,000 minimum to not be at the poverty line, to not be asking your family for monetary support. And that doesn't even include really saving for college for real, right? If your kids are gifted, there's no tutoring. There's no real fire ass after school activities, right? Go skateboard. That's the cheapest after school activity you can do. That's the cheapest sport you can do because you're paying for a helmet, pads, and a singular skateboard, right? Right. You're not outgrowing your skateboard once you go from a kiddie board to an adult board. You're not outgrowing it, right? If you break it, it's too bad. You better get a paper route. What is this? 1999? Paper route.
A girl, the world taught me that my needs mattered less than literally everyone around me. And so I think actually the best thing I can do for my family is to be happy. Sometimes that means when you get in the car and they're like, oh, can we listen to my music? You say, no, we're going to listen to my podcast. And they might whine, but it makes me way happier and way less resentful that I'm listening to Row Your Boat for the 80th time today. Like,
Scooch down towards me. Ready?
A fun fact is I'm not a fan of jazz and mostly jazz like that because of what my dad played on the radio all the time. When I was growing up as a kid, I just heard it so much over and over and over and over again. And just like a lot of old school R&B as well. 90s, 2000s R&B and jazz. Not a fan of it like that. I can listen to it, but I'm not actively reaching for it. People will say, oh, this is a classic. Oh, this is my jam. I could definitely sing along, but would I know the artist names? Would I know the name of the songs? Absolutely the fuck not, because I've heard it too much. The radio was just on repeat like crazy for drives. And I mean, the radio was on repeat. The songs were on repeat on the radio like crazy because it's the radio, of course. And just on drives, I've gotten so used to it. I've fallen asleep in the ride to it so much as a kid that I'm thoroughly over it. So row your boat 80 times. I can understand. We're about to turn on some Denzel Curry.
All right. A lot of pressure here. This is a view of the uterus.
Where?
This whole thing here was kind of long, like an eggplant or a banana. For a woman who's never been pregnant, it's about the size of a bottle of nail polish. What we do is just take a look here, make sure everything looks pretty normal, which it does. Okay? We have plenty of great pictures.
Do I get to keep it like from a party?
Like a souvenir?
Wow. What do you feel like are the biggest misconceptions that you hear about the relationship between fertility and age?
That you have all the time in the world. With time, fertility does go down.
One of the best ways to see this is just the chance a person has of getting pregnant each month. Doctors call that fecundability.
Your mid to late 20s is actually when you're most fertile. It's about 15 to 25%. That can decrease to the mid 30s to about 10 to 15%.
Huh? Huh? 25% is crazy, but I guess if you're, I don't know how they're doing it. I guess if you're only able to get pregnant a certain number of days every month throughout the years, I guess that tracks. Because there's no way that you're 100% able to get pregnant all the time. Okay.
Unfortunately, over about age 42 to 44, it can be less than 2%.
One reason for this decline is the number of eggs that you have goes down as you age, egg quantity. But fertility is also about egg quality, or how many of those remaining eggs are chromosomally normal.
The vast majority of early miscarriage is actually due to chromosomal errors. A lot of
what I say about the cellular giving up of life. Yeah.
People tend to think of children with Down syndrome or Turner syndrome, but those are the outliers.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we're going to do a little visualization so that you can show us, for a person who can bear children, what percentage of their eggs are chromosomally normal on average as they get older.
Huh.
So blue is going to be genetically normal eggs, and yellow is going to be genetically abnormal. Okay, so this is 28. This is my age.
You have a really high chance of making a pregnancy or embryos with a normal number of chromosomes. But as you see, it's never going to be 0.
23 is crazy. We doing Jordan numbers at 28? I'm 31.
So as you age to 33, there's a higher chance, maybe about 30 to 31% at this point. But around age 37 to 38, the chances of having a pregnancy with chromosomal abnormalities is almost 50%.
Yo, who trying to get knocked up tonight? My mother watches this. Hi, Ma. I'm sorry.
That's enough.
I'm not. But I feel weird that you were watching this and seeing.
Number that's very shocking to people. But, you know, as we advance in age over 42, the chance is quite high. It's now over 80%. And so this contributes to why women in that age group may have a harder time getting pregnant and may unfortunately experience miscarriage much higher than they were when they were younger. Sometimes we're able to make generalizations based on your age, but the only way to know for sure is an evaluation of your own individual reproductive health.
What do you see as the most important disparities to talk about with respect to access to fertility care?
Cost is probably one of the biggest factors. One cycle of IVF can typically be about $15,000 to $20,000.
Damn.
IVF isn't the only option, but all of the options aren't cheap and often not covered by insurance.
Something else is looking at the differences in outcomes based on race and ethnicity. There are studies that show women of color are referred to infertility specialists less frequently, and that may play into why they present later for care or with longer periods of infertility.
What can we do to reduce those disparities?
I think the first thing we have to do is acknowledge it. We all have implicit biases that govern how we conduct ourselves and how we react to different people in different situations. The patients that are visiting fertility clinics tend to be white, female, college educated, and wealthy because that's who can afford the treatment. So one of the biggest things I personally would wish for is infertility evaluation and treatment to be covered by health insurance universally.
We found out about the fertility benefits. We met those requirements to be able to enroll, and we got started with our IVF process. And here we are with this little one today.
I'm incredibly privileged in that it cost me literally $0 to get pregnant because of the particular biological realities of my relationship. We had sperm, egg, uterus between the two of us, but most transgender people need some help with some part of that.
As I got older, what I learned was that
I thought he was a guy. But then again, I don't know who his partner is, right? He might have got an egg from a family. The uterus might have came from a family, right? The stork might have brought everything for him, and all he had to do was provide the sperm.
as a Black woman, I was at even more risk for complications and death after childbirth, and it didn't instill any confidence in me. I recently helped my sister inject herself. She's feeding her eggs. That was just a very powerful moment. I knew I was going to have kids. That was never an issue. The bigger thing was, what would you do strategically in order to make sure you could maximize your career, which was important for me.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
What are we doing here?
So, there's a lot of data that shows that the financial impact of having a child isn't born equally by men and women. So we're going to visualize that.
Okay.
Ready?
I think so.
There we go. Okay, I'm liking this. What do we got here?
Like cave explorers.
What are we doing? What are we?
A 2017 report from the U.S. Census Bureau shows the impact of having a child on men and women's earnings among married heterosexual couples. Ready for that?
I'm scared.
The key chart looks something like this. The male and female stats both start out at 0 the year the baby is born. It's a way to control for differences between men and women's earnings so that we see the effects of having kids more easily. In the first year after having a child, the mother's earnings take a big hit. The father's, not so much. So Christoph, this is year 1.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Huge hit.
The female spouse's earnings don't actually recover until the child is around 9 years old.
9? What's... And we're talking about recover. So we're going from 0 to -1 to back to 0 in just 9 years.
Essentially, at year 9, the mom's salary has reset to where it was.
Yeah. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Year 18.
18.
Going up. Look at me climb the career ladder.
Okay.
Though her earnings do increase as the child gets older, the gap between the two genders is still there by the time that kid is officially an adult. One huge factor here is unequal childcare responsibilities. According to the American Time Use Survey, on an average day, women spend more than double the amount of time providing physical care to children.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, so much of this makes sense thinking about my mom's career.
Yeah.
You know, she took off work until I was 6 or 7. It was great that she was able to do that, but it's a hard trade-off to have to have made.
Yeah. Christoph, one more thing.
Yeah.
Look down.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now we're done.
Rock climbing seems like such a good forearm hand grip strength workout, but I hate heights.
How was that?
You know, managed. I'm a little sore. I feel like we could have printed that chart out, but it's fine.
I really wanted to know if there was like a good or a bad time to have kids. I really wanted to like time it perfectly for me, you know? Like what's interesting is the data shows that for couples who have children under 25 or over 35, the female spouse takes an earnings hit, but actually does catch back up to the male partner.
Oh.
For the couples that have kids between 25 and 35, the female partner never catches up.
It seems to sort of show that there is a very core window, 25 to 35, where you are starting your career, setting yourself up for a successful life. And that's a hard window to have a kid.
The thing about that data, though, is that it's so wrapped up in socioeconomics and education that it's really hard to tell what it means.
Yeah.
Over the course of the last couple days, I've learned that the fertility data tells you that probably the safer choice to have kids on the earlier side, and the career data implies you might take less of a hit if you have kids later, which is...
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Because, again, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to be... Can you look at yourself and imagine yourself having kids 5 years earlier than how old you are, 10 years earlier than how old you are right now, if you're 30, right? And imagining trying to be on the same exact path that you're on right now and get there by how old you are right now. Or imagine when you had kids and simply pushing that off. Hey, being 20, making it to 22, 24, 26, popping out a bachelor's, a master's degree, maybe even a doctoral degree. You go to law school, you go to medical school, and here you are 27, 28, 26, 27, 28. And now 2 years. And even then, just 2 years into your career, you got to pop a kid out. And you got so many people in your ears like, why are you only having one? Oh, the replacement rate. You got to have 2.1 at a minimum. Who's popping out 2.1 kids? You got to have 3. And that's only because these old ass people want to be taken care of. These damn boomers who snatched up so much wealth from us. That's the real reason. People would be fine popping out kids at 20 to 25 if they could afford to buy a home. But no, you got to spend $100,000 or $300,000 to get a good degree so you can make $140,000, $500,000, $200,000 minimum by the time you're 35, 45, so you can really afford to live the life that you want to, 2-3 vacations a year, putting your kids through college, right? Because shit ain't gonna be cheap, right? You gotta go into debt, work real hard, pay that shit off, and then shit costs too much, man. It costs too much.
A little frustrating.
This question of should you have kids or not is such a completely different question professionally for men than it is for women.
You were prioritizing being at home and changed jobs to do that.
That's true.
Why was it you who made that choice and not Dad?
Well, it wasn't completely voluntary. When I went back to work after Zoe, I basically was told, okay, you're on the mommy track now. I was young and very ambitious, and I just thought I could do everything, no matter what the environment. And that's turned out not to be true.
I'm really afraid of that.
Yeah, well, you can suss out your environment a bit. There were no women who were associates who had babies who had gone on to make partner. I should have learned from that.
I don't think that's fair to put on yourself. It really frustrates me that we position this as an individual choice. Like the other option is your law firm could support you more.
Yes, and they were not prepared to do that.
The law firm what? What did she say?
It really frustrates me that we position this as an individual choice. Like the other option is your law firm could support you more.
Yes.
The law firm could have supported. It could have supported you more. Yeah. And that's one thing too. We're being more progressive as we move forward, but these jobs are holding us back. These companies are holding us back. They're still locked into like a 1950s, 60s kind of like thought process, right? And they don't give a fuck about you having a family. They want you to work. They want you to produce. They want you to bring in money for them. It's money, right? And that's what you need to take care of these kids. But they don't care. They will replace you quickly, easily. If they can do it with a robot or AI right now, they will absolutely do it. It is tough, unnecessarily tough. And I'm just thinking about this. And I'm thinking about how much money I make, and I'm really harkening back to that $140,000 number, and I'm thinking, oh shit, if I work 40 hours a week after taxes, I'm bringing home $70K. I removed my business. I removed the podcast that I do that makes me no money. All I'm doing is spending money. All this equipment. All these chickens. All I'm doing is spending money for this. Yeah, and I'm bringing home $70K a year, and I like expensive shit. There's no more buying stuff for me. I'm thinking about, I need a partner who also has to bring home $70K. Right. Because here, Michigan, rent, foods like gas, right? Vehicle insurance, the insurance again, insurance a third time, insurance a fourth time, right? My job would pay for health insurance, so that would take care of the kids. That would be like the plus. That's the super plus of the job I have. UAW strong, baby. UAW strong, baby. Shout out to the few unions that we do have left in this country. My partner has to bring home $70,000 as well, and that's poverty. That's poverty for two kids. That's poverty for two kids. What are we doing? Are we putting the money away? Are we saving? Are we really scrimping and scrounging and saving and putting money up until we pop some babies out? And are we trying to live off of dividends? Are we really working that hard with limited financial literacy to try and make this shit work and shake? Are we trying to... This shit is depressing. Ugh.
You know, nobody that I've spoken to ever expected parenting to be easy. I definitely don't. But I keep thinking about this chart and where the United States falls, and I can't help but wonder if it has to be this hard. So my last question is just, what could we do to make it easier to be a parent in the United States? And one thing that we could do is make childcare more affordable. There's a new report that just came out that shows, as a percentage of women's full-time earnings, how much do women have to pay for childcare in each of these countries? So each stack of coins represents a woman's median full-time earnings in each place. And we're going to take out coins to represent the amount of her earnings that she's going to spend on childcare. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to touch any of these, but I'm going to take one out for Germany.
So you remove for Germany, but not for Chile, the Czech Republic, or Italy.
Yeah, for the most part, governments in these countries provide a lot of support.
Wow.
Okay.
Now, we've got all of these countries. Let's see what that looks like. 5 Korea, 6 Iceland, 7 Portugal. By the way, this is like $500 worth.
Shit. Nah.
So it looks like for all of these countries, they are here spending, a quarter of their earnings, but that is still a significant chunk of money to be spending on childcare.
Right? That's a huge chunk, even in the middle of this chart.
Finland is already getting into territory that looks very different from.
And that's just child care. That's just 1 to 5. 1 to 5 for like daycare, and 5 to 12 for like latchkey after school programs if it's not sports. I wonder. No. My brain is broken. What is this cost of childcare? Taking care of your child, not daycare. So the amount of money that you spend to take care of your kid. How is Italy, the Czech Republic, and Chile? This is coming from the OECD 2020. What really is the cost of childcare? What are we talking about here? Are we talking about food? Are we talking about clothes? Are we talking about? Man, I need to actually read the number and pull up the source. I need the source. I need the source. Let me see here. I need the source. Ignore that. OECD 2020 cost of child care minus you. Public spending on child care and early education. OECD countries spend on average just over 0.8%. Public expenditure. Ooh, I'm blind as shit trying to read these PDFs. I gotta zoom in. 189%. Public expenditure on early child care education. Here goes the definitions and the methodology. In cash or in kind towards formal public expenditure on early childhood education and care covers all public spending towards formal daycare services, daycare centers, family daycare, generally aimed at children towards ages 0 to 2, inclusive, primary education services, including kindergarten and daycare centers, which usually provide educational content as well as traditional care for children aged from 3 to 5, inclusive, is presented here through two measures: public expenditure on early childhood education and care as a percentage of GDP, with data disaggregated into expenditure on child care and formal daycare services as a percentage of GDP, and expenditure on primary education services as a percentage of GDP. That's so many percentages of GDP. I'm getting pissed. Public expenditures on early childhood education and care per child and USD, PPP. I need a PPP loan. With total expenditure on early childhood education and care converted in USD, PPP, and presented per child age 0 to 5. Data on public expenditures on children and formal daycare services per children age 0 to 2 and public. I'm tired of reading. Back to the video.
Germany, so I'm just scared to see what happens.
So the United States is here among a small group of countries where women spend more than a third of their full-time earnings on childcare.
That is very scary.
So this is Australia.
Whoa.
Let's get rid of all of that.
Should I do Canada?
Yeah, 34th.
34% of your money on childcare?
I'm trying to get a sense of why there's so much disparity across the board on this side, from Germany to Italy. Like, what is it that countries on this end are not doing?
We're not going to war? What is the UK doing, though? Damn, is that half? Is that 50%? I thought we would be bad. Fuck. What are we doing? Spending 33, 34%? Why does that number seem so low? Oh, percentage of women's median full-time earnings. Okay. Still the median. Okay.
Denmark, for example, mandates that parents can't be charged more than 25% of the operating cost of childcare, and the government covers the rest.
Oh.
In Korea, they were very concerned about falling birth rates, and so they spend a lot of money on supporting parents, and one of the things that they do is they offer cash benefits.
Wow. So it sounds like parents there are incentivized to actually have kids.
Yeah. Given that finances are a really big...
I think Korea is just like Japan, and they're kind of fucked up with how hard they work their people, so they're not popping babies out anyway. So, You gotta let go of those traditions, right? You gotta let go of those traditions. And South Korea specifically, South Korea went so fucking hard, to jump and hop and skip into such a developed country where they at right now. They did not really have time to adjust and grow at a slow pace. So the way they think versus how they maneuver through society, they're not lined up. They're up here technologically, right? But they're still thinking like it's the fucking past, like it's the Stone Ages. No.
Part of the decision to have kids for a lot of people. It does seem like that decision would be less burdensome in a lot of these other countries than it would be for a lot of parents.
Shout out to Italy.
I've gone through this whole journey learning about parental happiness data and fertility data and earnings data and having it help me as I'm making this decision. The truth is, I'm not going to be making this decision based on statistics. I'm going to be making this decision based on my own feelings and my own family and my own potential family. And one of the things that I've been thinking a lot about is I really, truly, over the course of my life, would love to do for another person what you did for me. And I would love to be the kind of mom to somebody that you were to me. And I would love to have the kind of relationship as an adult that you and I have now. And I just wanted you to know that.
Thank you, Cleo. That means a lot to me.
And it really is a big part of my decision making.
A walk down the street is torture, very slow, but also every single thing suddenly is incredibly interesting. There is a bug. Holy cow! Who knew that bug had so many legs?
Whenever you're ready. I think there are lots of ways to have kids in your life in meaningful ways that aren't being a parent, and that those ways are just as valuable, just as valid, if not more so.
The ant.
I always just tell people, if you don't really want to do it, don't. Do something else.
I feel this very deep calling to my work, and that's what I've chosen to dedicate my life to. I found it already. I don't need anything else.
Since I don't have children, I'm able to be there for my family in ways that I probably wouldn't be able to if I had children. And I take a lot of pride in that. There's so many things that can get you there, but it's not just being a parent.
What's important to you? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want your life to look like?
Yeah, wave bye bye to Zoe.
And then go do it.
How much is the UK?
51.
Wow. Sorry. Yeah.
Jesus.
UK, but I'm gonna get an ultrasound on camera.
No.
Yup. That's cool.
Babies.
Oh, babies.
Speaking of children.
Hello, children. I didn't deliberately match the date of it, but I did.
51%. Honestly, it's been so long. I forgot why we even watched this video. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't expect to turn my podcast into a reaction podcast. I honestly forgot how much I hated having headphones on. Ooh, shit, I hate it. Mostly because it pinches my glasses. All right, that's all good. Next week anyway, I got a optometrist appointment. I pulled that out of my ass because I forgot how to even say optometrist. Optometrist. I was gonna say I got a eye doctor's appointment, and then optometrist like popped into my head. Say this word, motherfucker. Yes, back to the Intelligent Idiots podcast, not a singular intelligent silly motherfucker reacting. Oh, I should have a reaction channel. That's a singular intelligent motherfucker reacting to videos he finds online. Let me see. For one, I have to download this video. How do people do reaction videos? It would have been fantastic if I knew how to record this. Now I have to do so much editing. I have to do so many chopping forwards. So many chops for every time I pause the video. That's on me. All right, we're going to download that. And we're going to come back to the story for the prenup. My 29 male prenup with my fiance, 28 female, pays for having children. My parents, 65 male, 62 female, are telling me to call off the wedding. We got edits. I know it's been a minute. It's been 30 plus minutes. It's been like, oh man, I watched that at 1.4 times the speed though. It hasn't been 30 minutes. It's been like 20. Edit number 1. Really did not think this would get more comments than 5 or 6, but might do an update post later because I realized I wasn't very detailed in the post and there are too many comments to keep up with. But I put sis, mom, and dad in a chat and politely told them to keep their opinions to themselves. They're free to stay home and watch SNF on our wedding day. More drinks for us. We've never been close before. Let's keep it that way if they keep this up. No text response, just 3 dots in a bubble, and then 6 immediate back-to-back phone calls. Blocked. Guess we'll be repurposing those invites. Yo, this is the kind of petty energy that I live for, and I want to make sure that everyone who reads this has, right? We're not here for the bullshit. Edit 2, it's occurred to me that I don't know how to close a post. Really, I just wanted to hear what other married/engaged folks were doing. Thanks for the advice for those who gave it. Yeah. And this post is only a couple days old. By the time you watch this video, it might be even older. But yeah, things seem pretty resolved to me. And I'm all for these vibes. I'm all for this. Yeah, I approve. We're over in r/relationship advice with a post by Smella-Fart. I don't want to do that. 19 female with phone curfew led to a physical altercation with mom. 59 female and am now considering moving out. Oh, snap. I'm 19 female and still living at home with my parents, 59 female and 53 male. We've always had a pretty strict dynamic. One thing that's been bothering me is that they enforce a phone curfew on me. I'm not allowed to use my phone after 8 p.m. and it's been this way since I was 14. I feel like that's pretty restrictive at my age. I would understand it if I were younger, but I'm a legal adult. Even if I still live with them, I also pay my own phone bill. A lot of this seems to come from the fact that my mom is very overbearing, and doesn't really have a life outside of me and my brother. Because of that, my parents are constantly pushing family first down my throat, and they get insecure about the idea of me getting older and having a life outside of them. Because of the phone rule, I ended up getting a second phone so I could still talk to friends and have some independence. But my mom recently found it. She completely lost it and escalated into a physical altercation where she had to be pulled off of me by my dad. The next day, I tried to talk to her about how it made me feel unsafe, but she told me it was my fault, and I made her do it with my actions. Yo, I also tried to negotiate removing the curfew, and she said she will never agree to that as long as I live under their roof, even once I'm 21. Since then, things have gotten more tense. She went through my bank records and criticized how I spend my money. For example, she got upset that I bought a water bottle at work. At this point, I feel stuck. I've been thinking about moving out since I turned 18, and now a friend has offered to let me stay with her. Her parents are aware of my situation and are okay with it. What's making this hard is the guilt. I know my mom doesn't really have a life outside of me and my brother, and I feel like leaving would really hurt her. I keep thinking about her being alone in the evenings, and that's a big reason I've stayed this past year. I'm trying to figure out what to do next and would really appreciate advice. For those people who have dealt with controlling parents, what helped you to decide whether to leave or stay? Girl, get the fuck out. Dip. Dip, 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 dip. Do you like dip on your chip? I like dip on my chip, so I'm a dip, dip, dip. Dip. What are we doing? What are we doing? I'm not physically getting into it with my parents. For one, if my parents fight me, I'm fighting back. For two, if my parents fight me, I'm fighting back. For three, my parents are old. My parents are old. They're not going to put their hands on me. Right. There is no reason your parents should feel like they have to put their hands on you at 19. And if they feel like they have to put their hands on you at 19, you should just be out of the house. If I felt like I had to physically harm you and be on you and have to get pulled off of you, I would kick your ass out. Whether I'm right or wrong in my thoughts, this is just how I'm thinking. Whether I'm right and wrong in my actions, right, of kicking you out, my first thought wouldn't be to put my hands on you unless you did something that was truly deserving of it. Because you're an adult. You can press fucking charges. For one thing, I'm an adult. Assaulting another adults, I can go to jail. Me black. Me no Dominican puppy. Me black. I'm going to prison. Oh shit. If the neighbors call, the cops are kicking in my door, they're not paying for it. Afro man is a Republican, and I'm getting shot 5 times in the chest and 26 times in the back. I don't even know what mag is holding 26. I don't even know. You need to leave. I don't know what kind of guilt trips you're being put through, but this ain't it. This ain't it. This ain't it. You need to dip on your chip. Dip on your chip. Top comment, dip on the chip by Lollipop Fiend 123 with 2.9K upvotes for me. Your mother is abusive. Full stop. If you have a safe place to go to, I highly recommend you take that opportunity. She has already assaulted you at least once. So the likelihood that it will happen again and worse is very strong. Please protect yourself since it's clear no one else will. Edit. As for your bank account, I recommend you open a new account in an entirely new bank. That way there is no established relationship between your mom and your account. So there won't be any way for her to talk her way into accessing your information. Ooh, shit. Lollipop Fiend. It's the sugar in your diet. It's got you thinking It's got you thinking all the steps, 1, 2, 3. Yes. Yes, I say 1, 2, 3 because your name is Lollipop Fiend 1, 2, 3. Spot on. Spot on. Yes. Yes. Take your friend up on on that offer and dip on your chip. Dip out. Right. Get all your important documents. Right. Dip out. Lock your credits with the 3 major bureaus and even more, because there are more bureaus than just 3. Right? For the people who don't know, there are more bureaus than just 3. There are more credit bureaus than just 3. I'm going to say it again. There are more credit bureaus than just 3. Lock your credits. Let me see. Lock your credits. Change your home address. Update your mail. Make sure it's sent off. Make an account with USPS, the United States Postal Service. So you're locked in. And you can update your mail to where it's being sent at any time. Let me see what else. Home address, change it. Mail, like your credit, change your bank information, change your bank accounts, all your personal documents, get them. And dip on your chip. You can open up a Cash App account and get your money deposited there before you even have to like bring $100 or whatever to a public bank. Fuck Bank of America. Go with a credit union. Pentagon Federal Credit Union. I don't bank with them, but I do bank with Navy Federal Credit Union. And I do believe they are the best. The best. Oh, change all your passwords to everything too. That's the advice right there. Let's see the comments that OP replied to. Let's find these real quick. Snow loves summer. Do you love the heat? Oh, Snow doesn't love summer like that. Olaf does. If she is on your bank account, get it changed or make your bank statement online. I think that is a weird thing. But OP replies, I'm planning on going sometime today to make my own bank account. Booyah. Since the account my dad made when I was 16 years old. He didn't inform me ahead of time that he would be given access to the account, and I was completely unaware until the incident last year where they took all of my savings. I'm paying for tuition completely out of pocket since they refused to allow me to get a student loan. And at the time, I wasn't really sure how to. I had enough money in my savings to pay for my first 2 years of local university, so I didn't. So I didn't really think I needed to take out any loans. I didn't read these comments. I read the story. I didn't read these comments. I'm fucking pissed. 2 years at a local university? 2 fucking years? Let's make it cheap. Let's make it super cheap. Let's make it super fucking cheap. Let's make it 10 bands. Bands that make her dance. $20,000? You stole $20,000 fucking dollars from me? Oh my God, you were just a fucking baby. It's been a whole year, most likely. In just 2 years, you saved up enough money to go to school for 2 fucking years. My chest hurts. I want to fucking cry. You were doing it. You were banging it out. Fucking 50 years ago, just a summer job could pay for a whole year of college tuition, and you have some money left over. 3 months of working could pay for a whole year's tuition like it was nothing. And you did 2 years of work to pay for 2 years of college, and you had that shit saved up, and your parents took that from you. They want you at home. Cafeteria Monitor replies to OP's comments. Yes, it's clear from these details that this is a situation where you need to escape. I would make the account at an entirely different bank so they can't use your login details and can't use existing relationships at the bank to get access to your account. And I would transfer whatever balance you have to the new account. Do all of this before you talk to them about moving out or anything. I really fucking hope OP saw this. Right? She needs to get the fuck out. Right. Do use 1285 asks, they took your savings. What did they do with it? OP says, I'm still not sure, and I've asked for them back, but they refused. They stole. They stole your fucking money. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is crazy. Okay. Creaker comments, you need to get some space between you and your mom. Not your job to enable how she wants to live life for the rest of your life. Not your job to enable how she wants to live life for the rest of your life. Okay, that reads weird. And she'll never change as long as you're enabling her. Where's your dad in all this? Where is he? Beyond pulling your mom off you, he's the one who signed up to be with her forever. Why isn't he the one with her in the evenings? Because here you are being manipulated, and this is coming off the dome. Here you are being manipulated in your thought process by your mother that she'll be left all alone every single night for the rest of her miserable fucking life in her evenings because you won't be there. Where's the man who's been dicking her down for the past 19 years who produced you and your brother? OP comments. OP replies to the comment by Old Creaker. My dad is present, but often emotionally unavailable. They have a strained relationship due to her aggressive behavior. He's on the heavier side, and so am I. So am I, baby. But we out here looking good. Fit check. Fit check. Do you? These damn headphones. Do you see it? Do you believe it? It's Deadpool, baby. Man. I almost snatched these headphones right out of the interface. That was going to be tragic. How's my hair look? My dad is present but often emotionally unavailable. They have a strained relationship due to her aggressive behavior. He's on the heavier side, and she often shouts at him for eating or being overweight. Majority of my childhood was spent listening to them fighting. Fuck. Their relationship has improved slightly from when I was younger, but my mom doesn't necessarily care for my dad. And she's admitted that to me, at least in comparison to how she cares for me and my brother. But she's putting her hands on you. Does she beat him too? What did your mother do after your dad pulled her off of you? My dad has become completely desensitized to her and has always told me to just not react to her screaming since it will make it worse. His advice was always just stay silent because any responses will escalate the argument. He comes to me to complain about my mom, but will side with her in front of her because he is afraid of her. Fuck. This piece of shit ass motherfucker got with an abusive ass woman, popped 2 kids out, and is not doing anything. This loser bitch made less than ass piece of shit. Man. If your partner is abusive in any form or manner, if your partner cusses at you, if your partner is aggressive towards you, if your partner is aggressive like me, right? Look at me, always advocating for violence in a video game specifically. Don't get with them. Don't get with them, right? Don't get with them. You don't know how things will change when you hit milestones in a relationship, because that's when things start changing. That's when a flip gets switched. That's when things slowly start to change and they start to abuse and manipulate and hurt you, right? When you get that ring, when you get that legal binding document for marriage, when you get that pregnancy result, when you pop that first, second, third baby out, then you get a motherfucking fist to the face. If you see warning signs, dip on your chip. Creaker responds, not your job to give up your life to be your mom's life companion. He's chosen to continue living like this. Don't join him. You have your own life to live. Don't let them take it away from you. Spitting. Spitting, spitting, spitting. Secret Bad 1529 asks, was your mom snooping through your bedroom to find your second phone? OP replies, I locked my door at night, but I was just lying in bed using it to text my friends, and she picked my lock and stormed into my room. This bitch is crazy. Holy shit. I need OP to dip out. I need OP to run away. I need OP to run. Unfortunately, OP is not in the US, so I can't give any real major legal advice whatsoever. But dip. If anything is like how it is here, do you let the local police and all the police precincts, if it's similar at all? No, you are not abducted. You are not kidnapped. You are an adult who moved out, and your parents are pieces of shit who have been abusing you, and you have left in an abusive situation. You are an adult trying to take care of yourself, and as far as you are concerned, they have stolen from you, and they have pushed you out of the home after stealing thousands of dollars from you. Oh, they're not in the U.S. College is probably way cheaper. Hundreds or slash and thousands of dollars slash tens of thousands. I don't know how expensive college is in other countries. I just know it's hella expensive here. Free yourself. All right, we're over in r/relationship advice with a post by Throw R.A. Mixed Babies. Ooh. My 29 male girlfriend's 27 female dad discouraged me from proposing because their family isn't thrilled about us having dark babies. Me and my girlfriend, Naomi, are an interracial couple, with her being Korean and me being black. We have dated for just under 5 years now, and for the past few months, I've been planning on proposing. I'm pretty traditional, so I thought it would be a good idea to ask Naomi's dad for his blessing before I proposed. I asked earlier this month. When I arrived at their house, I was greeted by Naomi's father and mother, who invited me in. After a little talking, I told them that I was going to propose and wanted their blessing. Her mother was ecstatic, and her father didn't seem displeased, and he told me it was okay for me to propose. We talked more, and the topic of babies was brought up by her mother. I told her that I wanted to have kids with her, and she got even happier. We continued talking. When I told them I needed to start heading home, her mother said she would send me home with some food and left for the kitchen. Me and her dad have a small language barrier between us that is usually alleviated by Naomi or her mother, so we kind of just sat there in silence. He then told me this. I'll clean it up, but it was difficult to understand as he isn't great at English. Quote, you are a very nice young man, and we like you a lot. We'd be happy to have you in our family, but we are not too happy about you and her having dark babies. End quote. I was stunned, then kind of just awkwardly laughed. We sat there for another 2 minutes before her mom came out with a wrapped plate. When I got home, I said nothing about this to Naomi. I know I need to talk to her about what she said, but I don't want to be the one that accuses her family of being racist. And I know this is probably irrational, but the way her father said it put the thought in my head that Naomi may not want kids because of how dark I am. How do I approach her about this in the least accusatory way possible? You just gotta be blunt. Y'all been together 5 years now. 5 years. Oh my God. You gotta ask up front if the family is racist. When you're a minority and you're dating outside of your race, your nationality, your ethnicity, your culture, you gotta ask if they're racist, if they're bigoted, if they're prejudiced. You gotta know. Oh my God. I would be so tweaked out. This would be like 5 years down the drain for me. Imagine if she like just had a fetish for black dudes because of how messed up everything is in the U.S. and how much bullshit they put out about us propaganda-wise that they have for hundreds of years successfully. And Jesus. Let's go to the top comment by Dr. Hugh. She probably already knows. You can ask her if she knows how they feel about you or if they have said anything about you two getting married and having kids. She likely wants you, but I suspect her parents' racism is not news. And OP replies to that. All right, 4K upvotes. Jeez. I guess she probably already has heard it before. This is the first time I've ever felt anything kin to racism from them before. Okay, we got a couple more comments, and OP replies to those. Her dad showed his true face. He may have said we, but don't immediately assume that includes his wife. Horny Virgin replies to that comment that says, definitely this. He's likely speaking for people who doesn't share his opinion. And OP replies, you're probably right. That threw me off. It seemed like her mom wanted me to put a baby in her daughter. That is tough. We got a couple more comments from OP. Let me see. But no, I'm not going to read those because it's just him joking around in the comments about his language. No. But we have an update. So we're going to immediately slide to that. Let's see. Thanks for all y'all's input. It really helped me, and most of y'all were right on the target. Yesterday afternoon, I sat my girlfriend Naomi down and had a conversation with her about what her dad said to me. I tried to leave out any mention of proposal to her. I was in the neighborhood and decided to pop by. Terrible lie, I know, but she brought it up. I told her what her dad said about us having dark babies and asked if she had any similar feelings about our kids popping out half black. She looked at me like I was going out of my mind. She told me she didn't give a fuck about the color of her kids as long as I was the dad, which was reassuring. She was not happy with her dad. She wanted us to take a drive over there and talk with her parents about it. Ooh, that evening we dropped by unannounced, and when her mom opened the door to see us, she immediately asked Naomi to show her the ring. Naomi was confused, and I about shit myself. I, like a dumbass, didn't call ahead to her parents that I hadn't proposed. I guess her mom thought we were going to surprise her with the engagement and assumed I had already proposed. I was speechless. They began speaking in Korean, but from context, I assume her mom was asking if I was too cheap to buy her an engagement ring. And Naomi looked at me and started hugging and kissing me. My secret was out, and I told her I had already asked her parents for their blessing. She was a few seconds from crying, but sucked it up so we could speak to her dad. Like I said in my OG post, my future father-in-law isn't great at English, so he and Naomi spoke in Korean. According to Naomi, she asked him why he told me that. And he said that he was worried about their extended family not viewing our babies as Korean and being rude to them for me being black. I guess this did not come across well in English because he was just concerned for me and our kids. He didn't care that our babies would have dark skin. This was a huge relief. Her father isn't racist. Their extended families are, but fuck them. Who cares what they think? I am just so glad that our future kids are going to have grandparents that are going to love them. Only downside is now Naomi is expecting my proposal, so I got to knock her socks off. Thanks so much for all the help. And he drops an emoji. No. I see. It's the rock and roll emoji, but with dark skin. I approve. I approve. Okay. No heads need to be cracked open. Nobody needs to be pushed down any stairs. This makes me happy. Let's hit the top comment with 12,000 upvotes. Good news is you're pretty much guaranteed to get a yes. Let us know how the proposal goes. Do you have any idea how you'll surprise her? And OP replies, not yet, LOL. My original plans got scrapped thanks to the pandemic. Ugh. And now my second plan got shot down that she's expecting it. Hopefully plan 3 will be ironclad. Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully. Let's see. Let's see. There was some comments I liked. Here we go. By Sweet Ragnarok. I am so happy for you. My suggestion, ask her to marry you in Korean. Look into YouTube or ask another native speaker to at least have you say the words phonetically correct. I did that when I started learning Japanese. It was hard just saying things out as they were spelled, then realize phonetically it's different. Yes, it is. You can be a bit more sweet and humorous in her language, saying like, honey, this isn't the way I wanted to propose, but I would be honored if you would marry me. You are the best thing that has ever happened to my life. End quote. It's a mouthful, but imagine if you said that in her home language. She would be sobbing tears of joy. An intimate and sweet proposal is fine. The fact that you already asked her parents for a blessing speaks volumes that you are awesome. Maybe learn to make a dish she really wants, then pop the question. You can be a little creative and go to Etsy and buy yourself a custom cake topper dolls to you and your girlfriend's image for a wedding cake and present that to her with a ring in hand. I don't know if Korea has any traditional ways in doing a proposal. I'm half Asian, Filipino specifically, and I went through my country's old school pre-colonial courtship proposal method. That's a ceremony in itself, but can be touching and meaningful, especially if the family is traditional. Please update us soon with a proposal, as the sub and this world needs more happy endings. And OP replies to that. That's what I've been planning to do. Her little sister has already offered to teach me. That's what I'm talking about. After all these sad ass, annoying ass, messed up stories I've been reading for these past few weeks, we need good vibes like these. I swear. Oh, makes me a happy camper. And unfortunately, there aren't going to be any more updates after this because OP's account got banned. I don't know what they did to do and how it happened, but yeah. All right, we're over in r/am I the asshole with a post by Sammy Kins 8. Am I the asshole for asking my neighbors to not have their kids turn every slide in the park into a slip and slide? My husband and I took our daughter to the park in our neighborhood today. When we got there were 2 sets of adults having a picnic on the grass while their kids were playing. As we got closer, we noticed that the kids were in swim trunks and covering every slide in water and dish soap. Ugh. Our daughter is 3, and the slide is her favorite activity. We go to this park every day. My husband and I watched as these older boys were going down the slides and then being launched into the wood chips at the bottom. We didn't want our daughter to get hurt or covered in water and dish soap, so we tried to block off at least one of the slides, and I made a few comments that I could try to dry it off, and one of the kids finally grabbed one of the towels to help, and I stood in front of that one until she was done playing. Okay. The parents did nothing. Just watched their kids take over the park and make it impossible for anyone that wanted to stay dry to play in the area. The kids even ran over to the parents to get more soap and water. We made comments about it being inconsiderate, but we were ignored and didn't want to start an argument in front of our daughter. We posted on the neighborhood Facebook and asked people to be more considerate or maybe take their kids to a splash pad or a rec center, but don't soak the whole park so no one can enjoy it. Well, the response in the group has been unbelievably entitled, with comments like, why didn't you let your kids just join in? And sorry you didn't have a good experience. My boys have been cooped up and they had a blast. We are truly baffled by this response and feel like there should be some level of common courtesy among a public space with neighbors. Like, sorry, we don't want our three-year-old getting soapy and launched into wood chips where she could probably get hurt. The entitlement coming from these people is blowing my mind. I would never imagine doing something like that. So, am I the asshole for telling my neighbors to not turn the public park into a slip and slide? No. Honestly, I would take that soap and splash it. No, I would definitely take that soap and spray it into their face. What are we doing? It's not your shit. It's just not your shit. All right. This is taken care of by the entire community's tax dollars, and it's put forth so all the kids can enjoy it. So edit for more info. I said nothing to the kids. One considering one saw me struggling to clean off one of the slides and offered me a towel. I said thank you. I don't know if they cleaned up, but I doubt they'll get all the soap off the stairs, bridges, and climbing equipment. They also got soap on. I hope no one gets hurt. Yep. There were 6 slides in total, all covered in soap and water. Oh, we are one of 2 non-Mormon families in the neighborhood who are actively avoided and not invited to neighborhood activities. Girl, you don't want to go and have a group soak with these people? You don't? It's a good thing you're not being invited. Oh my God. I'm fucked up in the head. Top comment was 6,000 upvotes. Not the ass. Soaking and soaping a slide at a park that you don't own is wildly rude. Everyone in that neighborhood has the same right to access the park facilities. You don't get to change that because your kids want to control everything. They were incredibly rude. I swear to God, parents are worse than the kids they're raising, or not actually raising, but letting run wild. It's been so much worse the past 6 to 10 years. People are so selfish and entitled that they try to control a public park. And Moon HRAFN. What kind of Moon Fran? Moon Fran? I don't know these usernames. They throw me for a loop. Seeing some of the comments here is just wild. Oh, she got a slide all to herself. No, they put one slide into its proper condition after asking. Everyone could use it, right? Like 6 slides. You fuck up all of them. Then you throw me a towel so I can clean up the mess that you made. This is nasty. Ugh, nasty shit. Green Leech of Reddit drops a comment. More info. Did you just make loud comments or did you speak directly to the parents? And OP replies, we were talking directly to the parents when we said that this was really inconsiderate of other people that wanted to play here, and they ignored us. We didn't want to push it to the limits. Because little itty bitty kids could snuck out of the house 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. When do kids stop going to parks to play? I don't know. I can't remember the last time I was a child and slid down a slide. As an adult, I can remember, but not a kid. And boom, they think that the slide is good. They slide down it. They don't see the soapy mess. They get launched into some wood chips and fucking roll an ankle, break an ankle, break any bone, period. And then their phone goes flying, if they're even old enough to have a phone, and they're there by themselves and they have no one to rely on, right? I'm pulling my Karen energy. I would have called the cops. What are we doing? We're making a public place a inhospitable, volatile, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word? Hazardous environment, right? It's hazardous. That you can potentially hurt yourself just being there. No, I slip and I fall and I crack my shit on some concrete. No. OP is not the asshole. They should have went off. OP drops one more comment as a reply to Nico Hiragi. What? I'm not even gonna try to understand what this username is. Soaking is pretty popular in Mormon culture. Yeah. And OP just drops laughing emojis. I made the joke first. I made the joke first. Here's a comment by KS Knitter. If it happens again, call the city's park number. Talk to them about it. And Scarlet Succubus says, not to mention how much it will cost to replace the grass. I know that seems petty, but we all pay taxes for our parks, and one group of people burns the grass with a campfire or kills it with soap. It affects us all. Yeah, we're having chemicals out here in public that people would not normally interact with. It's soap, but I'd use a specific type of soap. You use a specific type of soap. We don't know what these random ass Mormon losers are using, right? It could very easily be something that you or I or anyone else or any of the kids on the slide, or wait, on the slide. Let me go back up. Damn, I went down far. On the slide, on the stairs, the bridges, and the climbing equipment. It could be on anything. I touch it. I rub up against it. I have an allergic reaction. Now I'm in a hospital. Now I got a hospital bill. I had to get hit in the arm with an EpiPen. That bitch is like a band at the hospital, if not more. No, I'm not vibing with it. We have an update, and it's going to piss you off. But these are goofy parents. This is the episode today. I stopped by the park this morning to see if they had cleaned it up, and nope. There's slimy grime all over the jungle gym and slides, and would definitely become a serious hazard if it rained. It's going to be so nasty and icky and disgusting. It probably needs to be power washed at this point. And again, is that going to eat away at the plastic and whatever kind of material is covering the jungle gym and all the climbing equipment, the stairs, the bridges, the slides? Is it going to be messed up looking, be unappealing, potentially be a rough area that you could fall, slip on, slide against, and it rips your kid's skin? Yo, these parents are some dickheads. Hopefully we get another update for this. This post is only a couple days old. So, for now. Moving on. We're over in r/Am I the Asshole with a post by Supermarket Fair 3341. Am I the asshole for bringing up my brother's premature birth at Christmas dinner to get my parents to shut up? I am a nurse practitioner, and I am the primary care provider for a lot of low-risk maternity cases at the practice where I work. I also work hand in hand with the doctors and midwives to create a healthy maternity, birth, and postpartum situation. My fiance is completing her residency. We live together and have for a few years now. We aren't in any hurry to get married. We originally had plans to do so a couple of years ago, but then we got really busy for 2 years. It is driving my very religious parents crazy that their youngest son is living in sin. I don't really care. I'm an adult and I do what I want. We are getting married in June. So we are visiting my parents for Christmas. The way it came together this year, everyone is at my parents' house. So that's my folks, my 3 siblings, myself, my fiance, and 7 grandchildren. So 17 people. Hey, my math. At dinner, my mom starts going on about how she is so glad that we are finally getting married and she won't be embarrassed at church anymore. And my dad says how proud he is of his 3 older kids who are all either waited to get married before moving in together or got married right away after moving in together. My fiance was getting embarrassed and I was getting mad over this stupid argument we have had too many times. And the family dinner was the last straw. I asked them repeatedly to just accept that they cannot control how I live my life. I refuse to stay with them when I visit, even if I come alone. Hotels are just easier. So I started talking about a premature baby that I've been reading about. It was almost 3 months premature and weighed about 1.6 pounds. It was super strong and healthy for being born so little, and the NICU had high hopes for the baby doing well. My mom and dad got deer in headlight looks on their faces. Too bad. So now I fucked around with my fiance's feelings. So I asked about my oldest brother. He was born almost 4 months premature. Is there a chance that we could check out the family album where we keep all the records of family births and stuff? I already know my brother was over 9 pounds and almost 23 inches long when he was born. Over 9,000. My grandmother told me all about it the first time my parents tried to shame me. The subject gets changed very fast. After supper, my parents told me that I should not try to embarrass them with private things that are not my concern. I told them if I had heard anything about my living arrangements ever again for the rest of my life, I would make sure to keep bringing up the fact that my mom was in her 2nd trimester when they got married. My parents are mad at me for telling them how to behave in their own home, but my fiance is happy that they seem to be off the subject for good. Am I the asshole? Justifiably so, and I love it. I love it. Oh, it makes me so happy. Ooh, yes. Let's read that top comment. It's just perfection. Ooh, I have no words. By Secret Jealous 4342. Not the asshole. That was beautifully handled. You didn't call them out and embarrass them, but you stood your ground. I did laugh out loud when you said where you got your blackmail information. Grandma had that in her pocket for a long time, I'm guessing. Congratulations on your upcoming wedding. Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a great new year. And OP says, thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you as well. Team Grandma. She had to end the chamber because she was tired of hypocrites. You handled that perfectly. Said negotiation external number 1. Love it. I love that energy. Yes. Ooh. Oh. So OP replies to a comment that's deleted because it was removed by the moderator, but it doesn't matter anyway because that person's page got deleted. So by the time I would have seen this, it potentially would have been gone. No, I think I'm wrong, but it doesn't matter because OP replies to whatever that comment was and says, my grandma has no shits left to give since my grandfather passed away. She has a special friend she travels with, and they seem very happy together for 2 older ladies. Oh, grandma out here wilding. And I love it. She living her best life. Ooh. We got some more comments. Into the fickle bit with some underscores in between their name. My Catholic cousin had a baby that was 6 weeks premature and 9 pounds, born 8 months after her wedding. Sus. That's crazy. These babies are big as hell. There's no way any baby is being born premature at 9 pounds. Oh, you know what? And this pretty much sums it up right here. Not the asshole. This is awesome. Should post this on Petty Revenge subreddit. But OP replies to that saying, no revenge wanted, just peace and quiet regarding my life. Everybody's saying not the asshole, but this this is perfect. Don't be hypocrites, people. Don't be hypocrites, especially when you're raising kids and your kids are grown, right? I'm old now. I'm 31. But like growing up and being in my 20s, I didn't really like talk back to my dad a lot. But 30 plus, I have no patience. I truly don't. If my parents are saying something stupid, they're saying something wrong, I tell them. Hi, Mom. I feel so weird. Hey, Ma. And it pisses them off. But the reality is the reality. I don't, and people's reality is definitely how they perceive life themselves. Right? There are staunch, basic things that exist that they cannot refute. But even then, if you don't believe, you don't believe. So if you think something is true, that is reality for you. But if I learn the truth, I'm not going to believe what you believe. So here these parents are being cold heart hypocrites, living their lives exactly how they're harping on their youngest son to not do. And they don't even want the world to know about it. They're lying actively about it. So not just only are they being hypocritical, they're being liars. And I don't vibe at all with liars. I hate liars the most out of all people. They're at the fucking top for me. Don't you fucking lie to me. Don't get fucking caught up in it. Right? And then, it'll make me want to hurt you. So this kind of motion and movement, how they're maneuvering through life, is honestly so fucking stupid, right? You want to play this religious game and be all cute and fancy, and I can go to church and not be embarrassed now. You should have been embarrassed, period, for how you got knocked up. You was getting dicked down raw before you was married, right? And here you are lying for decades to tens of people, if not over 100 people, because look who you got in your church. You just straight up lying. Oh, my baby was premature. My baby was premature. No, the realities are, you know that you were sinning, right? And really, it shouldn't fucking matter, right? You're a Christian. You're a Catholic. It's between you and God, right? It's your sin. No one else should be butting in your fucking business. He gets to judge you, and that's it. You get to repent to him, and that's it. You get to live a better life, right? Because you knew what you did was wrong, and you make better decisions, and you don't act the same fucking way again, right? Because you didn't go ahead, get knocked up, then get divorced, and then get knocked up again, and then get married. Like, no. You got knocked up, you got married, you stayed married, then you popped the kids out. So everything was all copacetic, religiously, I guess. But you lying, that's not okay. That's not okay. You living every day in sin. You're living a bad life. And here your kid is. You raised him well enough so he could end up in medical school. Right. As a nurse practitioner, what does he bring home? 120,000? I think he's bringing home 120 bands. What did the list say? What do nurse practitioners bring home? $120,680. You put him through school, and he got a damn master's degree. But here you are harping on all about this hoopla. No, you gotta stop being a damn hypocrite. You and your husband, you gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop wilding. You're gonna push your kids away, especially when they start popping kids out. You're gonna be trying to tell them how to raise their babies, and here they're gonna be with brand new information because they work in the medical field. They're gonna know the best way to raise their babies. Then you're gonna be trying to push what you believe onto them again with your thought process that is wrong because you think you know best, and you're gonna end up getting a palm to your face and get pushed out the door because your son, your other kids just are not going to be for it. But How many grandchildren? 7. That's a lot of grandkids. We'll see. They'll see. Not my life. I'm chilling. Oh, I'm chilling. Choo. Chilling. Mm, 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 mm. I'm chillin', big chillin'. It's 2 in the morning, 2 in the morning. And here we are with our very last story. Am I the Asshole by Dad Joke. Am I the Asshole? I'm just saying, am I the asshole so much? Am I the asshole for making a dad joke? Notes, my stepdaughter, Madeline, was about a year old when I married her mother, Jessica. Madeline's father died before she was born. Madeline is currently 15, and she's rebelling for almost everything. She did something bad, so while picking her up, I set a punishment up for her. Then she said, "You're not my dad. I don't have to follow you." Ooh, honestly, I got a bit hurt from that. But I understand that she didn't mean it, and that she probably changed. I just replied, "I'm still your legal guardian for the next 3 years, and as long as you're in my house, you have to follow my rules." That happened about 2 days ago, so our family was going grocery shopping with Madeline said, "I'm hungry, I need food." I decided to be extremely cheeky and said, "Hi, hungry. No, I'm not your dad." My son just started to laugh uncontrollably. My daughter was just quiet with embarrassment, and my wife was berating me not to stoop down to her level. I honestly thought it was a funny dad joke, and my son agrees. So, am I the asshole? Nah. And if you're the asshole, it's justified asshole. I can't even really call your daughter an asshole, but I can because she's a teenager. It's fucking teenagers. The hormones, man, they do something to you. Let's read these top comments, and then we got some updates. Everyone sucks here, but that was one hell of a joke, and I congratulate you. I congratulate you for it. Oh, I can't read anymore. I'm so sleepy. I'm space commented at that, and they got the top upvote. The top comment. Oh, I'm dead. I'm tired. They got the top comment with 44,000 upvotes. And Dad Joke replies, "Gracias." Hey, I can whistle. Let me see. You're the asshole, says Israt8989, but a small one. It's a fun joke, but wrong audience. And OP replies, "Yeah, I can see that now." And then the deleted user drops a whole paragraph on us. "I would say you're only wrong because you never reaffirmed that you are her real dad. My kids were adopted, and when they were little, I asked a few parents of older adopted kids how they handled this dreaded phase. One of them said that it is important to not overreact with anger or sadness. You did not spell that right. I see why you deleted your account. That just confirms their worst fear, that you believe what they said." Ooh. He said to instead either say something like, "But you're still my real son/daughter, so unfortunately you still have to listen to me." Or make a joke. With one of his kids, he said, "So am I imaginary? Quick, click your heels together 3 times, and if I disappear, you are right. If not, then I'm real." I don't think you're the asshole, and neither of my teens have used this phrase, but I would try to make sure she knows you don't actually believe that you aren't her real dad. I think the dad joke would have been just okay if you didn't use the "I'm your legal guardian" line either. You are her dad. Let her know that you... Let her know. Let her know that you know that... Oh, okay. I see why that reads weird. Let her know that you know that, and nothing she can say will change that. The comments would have been so perfect right there, but there were none. I read like I'm fucking dyslexic, but these people just can't fucking type. Oh my God. everybody's voting him for everyone sucks here, or just you're the asshole. His overall score ended up being everyone sucks here. But everybody's commenting A+ for the execution for the joke. Oh, good Lord. So slightly dramatic comments. She will be fine then because he got her food. I totally agree with the poster that suggested you sit her down and tell her how much you consider her your daughter and love her as one, even if she doesn't feel the same. Reassure her you will always be there for her if she needs you, but you won't push her if she needs space. She probably occasionally feels like an outlier, as you have a real son with her mom, because teenage girls are hormonal, and this is the age where they naturally gravitate towards their dads and sort of get at odds with their moms a bit. Maybe it's a struggle with her emotions. Snapping and lashing out like she did usually comes from a place of fear and insecurity. Even if she doesn't respond with anything but silence when you have the talk, trust me that it will mean something to her. I was a moody teenage girl not too many years ago myself. And OP replies to that. Yeah, I'm planning to do that right now. All right. Let's see about these updates. Mini updates. I'll probably give a full update later, but here's what happened so far. I go to my daughter's room after dinner and begin talking with her. Hey, I'm really sorry that I hurt you by the words I said, and I am really your dad. I changed your diapers. I met your boyfriend. I plan on helping you through college, and plus, I'm legally your dad, so we're stuck together. But seriously, I'm going to love you like my daughter, even if you don't think I'm your dad. Then I hugged her. She did start to cry. I assume that's good. Man. Final update. Is this the final update? Oh, yes, it is, because their account got banned. Update. Am I the asshole for making a dad joke? My son found the post and shared it with my daughter. This was after apologizing to her. She cried again. So last week, we decided to have a father/daughter bonding weekend. Honestly, it was awesome. I took her bowling, to get a manicure, becoming a Disney princess. I looked awesome as Jasmine, and so forth. She loved it. I loved it. Everyone was happy. Then she decided to go out to eat dinner. I said, I'm starving. What do you want, Maddie? Hi, starving. I'm not your daughter. She had the biggest smirk on her face. She hugged me and I kissed her forehead. I'm sure she's been planning this for weeks. I'm tearing up. This was a perfect story to end on. Man. I love it. Everyone's vibing out with this. You can go find this comment. You can go find this post for yourself. I'm leaving on the good vibes. I'm not reading any more comments. I'm about to go cry and edit a little bit. I'm a happy camper. I appreciate you so much for being here with me today, especially as it's 2:05 a.m. and I need to give you this episode in less than 6 hours. 5 hours. 54 minutes. Oh, it's 2:06, 53 minutes. And 50 how many seconds? My watch is locked out. I have been your host, Mr. Always on 10, and I appreciate you for coming here and staying with me and listening to me ramble, cry, bitch, and moan and complain. I love you so much. You beautiful, wonderful, intelligent people, and you silly, need to be educated, idiotic people. Thank you. Have a beautiful day, night, week, month, and year. Thank you. And I'll see you next week.